has a name.
The real Russians. Who? Who? Hadir!
What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about an insane amount of new details that just surfaced about Modern Warfare 3, ranging from weapons, features, and even modes. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, we got plenty of articles going up over on detonated.com. Detonated is, of course, a brand new outlet I founded to expand on all the coverage you're seeing here on the channel. We also got plenty of tweets going up on Detonated's Twitter, which is going to be covering. We also got plenty of tweets going up on Detonated's Twitter, which will be covering every single Call of Duty game mode. With that being said, last night I posted a video in regards to the Modern Warfare 3 Alpha. The download for that was ripped through by the usual suspects over on Twitter, and they have since posted lots of early details about the upcoming Call of Duty 2023 release. I think in regards to how much information will be posted because of that alpha, it's going to be quite a bit and probably a bit of an overwhelming amount of information. That's going to be a lot to keep up with, so I'll do my best daily to put out new videos about the upcoming Modern Warfare sequel, recapping everything you need to know and everything that was found according to the usual folks that are posting this stuff over on Twitter. But we have reports coming in from Bob Network UK, and surprisingly, at the time of recording this video, his account still stands over on Twitter. It'll probably be removed in the next couple of hours. Activision will not take this lightly, but Bob Network posted a new image of what appears to be a Makarov and a special edition skin. So the cool thing about what looks like the direction of this game so far is that it will be following that post-credit scene that we got at the end of the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. So whatever it was leading up towards with that whole No Russian teaser, that's definitely going to be the focus of this year's campaign, which is pretty exciting. And I think the post-launch narrative and the whole purpose of it in terms of the raids, DMZ, it was setting up a lot of small plot points that will also be pretty relevant in the new Modern Warfare game, and all that will be tied together because of the plot coming up with Makarov and his crew. But I think considering this Makarov skin that popped up, that is essential confirmation you'll be able to play as his character right away at launch. I mean, even as soon as the beta, depending on how that works, but that's something to look forward to if you guys out there were curious about what the collector's editions or the highest edition of the game will end up being. I say collector's edition, but we haven't had that since, what, Modern Warfare 19? Hopefully they bring those back, but I think at this rate, it's highly unlikely. Now, last night, after I had just posted my last video about the Modern Warfare 3 Alpha, reports did pop up that the war mode from World War II 2017 was apparently going to return inside of this one. Now, again, as I talked about in yesterday's video, all this information is subject to change because as of right now, things can be set in stone that get scrapped in the next month or two. There's a lot of time left from now until launch to where a lot of things could end up being changed. I mean, never forget Modern Warfare 19 was going to have supply drops, and a good week or two before launch, they removed them from the game. Never forget that. But I think in all, when it comes to Call of Duty, there's lots of things out there that get leaked out, they get talked about, they were pretty much fully developed and ready to release to just never see the light of day. So always keep that in mind. I think war mode was pretty fun in World War II 2017.
So I said to Orville,
a bomb's been planted on our ammo supply!
Haven't had a mode like it since. I mean, we've had other types of ground war-esque modes. I mean, fire team, variations of even gunfight through Champion Hill. Vanguard had a lot of scrapped content, so it's very likely, according to these leakers, that a lot of that scrapped content does make its way into this Modern Warfare sequel and could be even better than what it was going to be back during Vanguard cycle. Now, amongst one of the craziest reports coming from Bob Network and the usual folks on Twitter is that each weapon inside of Modern Warfare 3 has a marker next to it which classifies which game the actual weapon came from. And all the weapons that leaked out thus far, or most of them I should say, have a marker that says Modern Warfare 3. But then there are a few weapons like the TAC which do not have a marker at all, and clearly that's a weapon that's returning from Modern Warfare 2. So it's likely that a lot of the weapons we end up seeing in the game, or at least a decent amount of them, will be returning from the current Modern Warfare. And I think that's great because what that confirms is that there will be a content transfer of some sort between weapons in MW2 and MW3, which not only includes weapons, possibly even your weapon leveling or whatever else you actually earned in MW2, but even the bundles. So let's say the TAC-V is a weapon that returns from Modern Warfare 2. If you bought, let's say, 3-4 bundles for the TAC-V, you'll be able to use those cosmetics inside of Modern Warfare 3. That's likely what they're building towards here, and further emphasizes the whole tick and TOC system, which leaked out a couple of months ago, which is that you'll have a game come out every other year, which is setting a new foundation, featuring a new set of characters, weapons, story, map design, engine, expansion, whatever the case. And then the years in between that, you get a TOC type game, which is just further building on what just came out and is more of an expansion, but still its own new Call of Duty title, kind of like what Miles Morales is to Spider-Man PS4. Now, if you guys remember, Warzone 1 had markers like this, where if you go into create a class, you would see a lot of weapons identified by their game. You would see games that are marked under Black Ops, some under Modern Warfare 19, and some under Vanguard. Think of that system when trying to envision what it's going to look like for Modern Warfare 3, except it's likely only going to have weapons from MW2 and the new MW3. That's likely it. Now, the marking of some of the weapons does have a red 3 on the Modern Warfare logo, so it's unclear if red will be the theme of the game. I know the color scheme of like the UI and some of the other options in the game are blue so far, and apparently the logo is blue according to these leakers, but it's unclear what color direction this game is going to go, and it's not going to be green like Modern Warfare 2 has been, but I think right now top contenders are definitely blue and even red. Now, tons, and I mean tons of images were also posted featuring a variety of different weapons coming to COD 2023. We have the AK-556, the COG-58, the ANVLB, the MCW, the MTZ-556, the MTZ-762, which is the SCAR-H, the LOC-9, which is the MP5, a WSP-9, which is an Uzi, a SAR-9, a Striker-45, a BAS-B, a Sidewinder, a KVB-73, the KVS Terminus, an AMR-50, a Rival 9, and lastly, a Raffica pistol. Now again, this isn't the final list of weapons for the upcoming COD release. I'm sure a final list will end up being leaked out in the next couple of weeks anyway, but these are also not even the final names for the weapons, right? Some of these weapons are of course classics from original Call of Duty titles, the older Modern Warfare releases, and I'm sure we'll see even more classic weapons added to the game, definitely at launch and throughout the post-launch cycle. But yeah, I'm very surprised these images have been on Twitter this long. Maybe they're trying to play a different route behind the scenes and say, you know what, let's not strike it to confirm its legitimacy, but I think too much is being posted at this point to where, yeah, they're going to start striking down Twitter channels, even YouTubers for showing any of these images. So be very careful if you guys are going to be making videos or anything talking about this info. Don't show anything on screen because it's very, very risky. Now, another image did pop up, which does emphasize exactly how all your important items will be laid out and what you'll be bringing into every single game. You're going to have a gunner vest, a primary and a secondary weapon, a lethal, a tactical, and your field equipment. Again, totally subject to change, but I think in terms of that gunner vest, as we talked about yesterday, that's going to be really interesting. I mean, all of them will have different abilities, and depending on what gear you're using, that will determine what some of the perks you actually have are, right? You know, certain boots will give you ninja, certain gloves will give you sleight of hand. It's going to be really interesting to see how they end up kind of one-upping the system we had in Advanced Warfare, where you had a pretty basic perk system in that game, but they were all kind of determined by the gear you were wearing as well. It just wasn't that complex or advanced like we're about to see here inside of MW3. So I guess you can go with that GameSpot meme at this point, which is that MW3 is about to be the most advanced Call of Duty ever, according to Activision. But then some of the other leakers are claiming that MW3 will very much feel like a MW2 2.0, but the game will step back from some of the, as of late, typical IW design choices, whether it's red dots on minimap, slower movement, ADS attachment penalties, and there will be more colorful map design, but the same kind of design when it comes to how the maps are laid out and what they play like. So again, I wouldn't take that for certain either, because there could be things Sledgehammer is planning right now that 2 months from now IW says, you know what, let's change that. Let's make sure that that's a little bit more close to what we did with Modern Warfare 2. So don't take anything for certain, but it is somewhat possible that IW already kind of gave them information about what needs to be in MW3, and they've already implemented that, and now Sledgehammer has free reign to kind of incorporate whatever else they want to make it feel like their own title, to make it feel like a hybrid between Vanguard, MW2, some of what we know from Advanced Warfare, World War II, games they worked on before. Lots of possibilities with what they could be doing here, but we even have a teaser from Ralph's Valve, who again, I wouldn't trust all that much, but he did put out a decent amount of information that came true a little while back. I know a lot of things he put out in the last like 9 months definitely weren't correct, but he went ahead and put out a tweet that does tease that the way MW3 is going to work is they're going to be kind of going backwards a little bit on some things that Modern Warfare 2 did, kind of supporting the tweet that we just read, which is that the game will have some things that IW wants, but will still have its own identity and go in a different direction that I think a lot of people in the community are going to be pretty happy with. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on all this breaking news about the new COD 2023 launch in regards to the weapons, features, modes? Again, we talked more about this game in yesterday's video as well in regards to the alpha that leaked out, the codename for the alpha, which does say quite a bit, more information about Ninja Perk, some of the gear, and some other features that you guys probably didn't know about. Check that video out as well. Really hope you enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.